What if I told you that the greatest danger in your life isn't your competition, your lack of money, or even your past? It's the part of yourself you don't even know exists. Every single day, invisible forces shape your decisions. They influence who you trust, who you love, who you fear, and even the future you create. Most people believe they are rational, logical, and fully in control of their actions. But the truth is far more unsettling. Long before your conscious mind makes a decision, your emotions have already chosen a direction. Have you ever wondered why intelligent people make foolish mistakes? Why successful relationships suddenly fall apart? Why some people can walk into a room and instantly command respect, while others remain invisible no matter how hard they try? The answers are not found in luck. They are hidden inside the laws of human nature. Over the next journey, you will discover the psychological patterns that silently influence every conversation, every relationship, every ambition, and every conflict. More importantly, you'll begin to recognize these patterns within yourself. Because the moment you understand human nature, you stop becoming its victim and you start becoming its master. Introduction. Welcome. This audiobook is not about judging people. It is about seeing them more clearly. For thousands of years, philosophers, leaders, psychologists, and great observers of humanity have searched for one timeless question. Why do people do what they do? Why do we sabotage our own success? Why do we repeat the same emotional mistakes? Why do we often see what we want to see instead of what is actually true? The answers are rarely obvious. Human behavior is layered. Beneath every action lies an emotion. Beneath every emotion lies a desire. And beneath every desire lies a hidden fear. Most people spend their entire lives reacting to these invisible forces without ever recognizing them. But today, that begins to change. This audiobook will help you become more self-aware, emotionally intelligent, and psychologically resilient. You'll learn how to recognize hidden motives, avoid emotional traps, build stronger relationships, and make wiser decisions, not by controlling other people, but by first understanding yourself. Because every lasting transformation begins with self-awareness, and every great leader, thinker, and creator has mastered one skill before all others: the ability to understand human nature. Now, our journey begins with the foundation of every other principle. Before you can understand anyone else, you must first understand the invisible emotions shaping your own mind. Everything starts here. Law 1. Master your emotional world. Every day you make hundreds of decisions. Some are small. Others quietly shape the course of your entire life. You probably believe those decisions are based on logic, that you carefully think through every choice before acting. But the human mind doesn't work that way. Long before reason enters the conversation, emotion has already taken the first step. Imagine someone criticizing your work. Within a fraction of a second, your heart beats faster. Your muscles tighten. Your brain begins searching for evidence to defend your position. Only afterward do you create logical reasons to justify what you already feel. This happens more often than we realize. The greatest obstacle to clear thinking is not a lack of intelligence. It is emotional blindness. Many people spend years trying to control the world around them while ignoring the emotional storms inside them. They blame circumstances, other people, or bad luck, never realizing that their strongest enemy often lives within their own reactions. True self-mastery begins with observation. The next time you feel angry, don't ask, "Who caused this?" Instead ask, "What exactly am I feeling and why?" That simple pause creates space between emotion and action, and inside that space lies freedom. History repeatedly shows that brilliant people have destroyed careers, families, and entire nations because they reacted emotionally in moments that demanded patience. The opposite is also true. The people who remain calm during chaos often appear almost ordinary on the outside, yet their greatest strength is invisible. They refuse to let temporary emotions make permanent decisions. This doesn't mean becoming cold or emotionless. Emotions are valuable. They warn us of danger. They help us connect with others. They give life meaning. The problem begins when emotions become the driver instead of the guide. Think of your emotions as weather. Some days are bright, some days are stormy. But no matter how powerful the storm becomes, the sky itself remains. Your awareness is that sky. When you learn to observe your emotions instead of immediately obeying them, something remarkable happens. You become difficult to manipulate. Insults lose their power. Praise no longer controls your confidence. Fear stops deciding your future. Instead of reacting automatically, you begin choosing your response with intention. That is where real confidence is born. Not from winning every argument, not from proving yourself to everyone, but from knowing that your inner state is no longer controlled by every external event. This is the first step toward understanding human nature. Because before you can see through the emotions of others, you must first see through your own. And once you master that skill, every conversation, every relationship, and every challenge begins to look different. Now that you've learned how your own emotions silently influence your choices, it's time to turn your attention outward. Because people rarely reveal their true intentions through words alone. Their actions, patterns, and behavior tell a far more honest story. In the next law, you'll discover why appearances can be deceiving and how to recognize the hidden motives that shape human behavior. Law 2. Look beyond words and observe patterns. If you want to understand people, stop listening only to what they say. Start paying attention to what they repeatedly do. Words are easy. Promises are easy. First impressions are easy. Patterns are difficult to fake. Think about the people you've met throughout your life. Some made powerful promises, but disappeared when you needed them most. Others spoke very little, yet they consistently showed up, kept their word, and earned your trust over time. The difference wasn't in their vocabulary. It was in their behavior. One of the most common mistakes people make is believing isolated moments tell the whole story. We judge someone by a charming conversation, a confident smile, or a single act of kindness. But human nature is far more complex than one moment. Character is not revealed once. It is revealed repeatedly. A person who respects you only when life is easy may not truly respect you at all. A leader who remains calm only when everything is going well has not yet proven their character. Real character appears under pressure. Pressure removes the mask. When people feel threatened, rejected, jealous, or afraid, their true habits begin to surface. Some become defensive. Some become dishonest. Others become surprisingly compassionate. This is why patient observers often make better decisions than quick judges. They don't rush to label people. They collect evidence. They notice how someone treats strangers, how they respond to failure, how they behave when no reward is waiting, and how they react when they don't get what they want. These moments reveal far more than carefully chosen words ever could. But there is another lesson hidden here. The same principle applies to you. Your life is not defined by your intentions. It is defined by your patterns. You may intend to become healthier, more disciplined, or more successful. But if your daily habits tell a different story, your future will follow your actions, not your wishes. Your patterns become your identity. Fortunately, patterns can be changed. Every small decision repeated consistently becomes part of your character. Every time you choose patience over anger, honesty over excuses, or discipline over comfort, you strengthen a new pattern. Over time, these small choices become automatic, and eventually, they become who you are. So before trying to predict another person's future, or even your own, ask a simple question. What pattern is being repeated? Because patterns rarely lie, and the people who learn to recognize them gain an advantage that emotion alone can never provide. Now you understand that actions speak louder than words. But there is another layer of human nature that is even more difficult to recognize. Many people don't simply hide their intentions from others. They hide them from themselves. In the next law, we'll explore the invisible masks people wear and why seeing beyond those masks is one of the most valuable skills you can ever develop. Law 3. See beyond the mask. Every person you meet is wearing a mask, not because they are dishonest, but because they want to be accepted. From childhood, we learn which parts of ourselves receive praise and which parts invite criticism. Over time, we begin hiding certain emotions, desires, and fears. We present a version of ourselves that feels safer, stronger, or more likable. The world applauds confidence, so people hide their insecurity. The world admires success, so people hide their failures. The world rewards certainty, so people pretend to have all the answers. Eventually, the mask becomes so familiar that many people forget they're even wearing it. This is why first impressions can be misleading. Someone who appears fearless may be struggling with constant self-doubt. Someone who seems arrogant may actually be protecting a fragile sense of self-worth. And the person who never complains may be carrying burdens no one else can see. The mistake is assuming that appearances reveal the whole person. If you truly want to understand human nature, learn to observe without rushing to conclusions. Pay attention to moments when people are under pressure. Notice how they treat those who have nothing to offer them. Watch how they respond to disappointment, criticism, or unexpected success. In those moments, the carefully constructed mask often begins to crack. But this lesson is not only about other people, it is also about you. Ask yourself, what mask do I wear every day? Do you pretend to be stronger than you feel? Do you hide your curiosity because you're afraid of looking inexperienced? Do you avoid asking for help because you believe successful people should solve everything alone? These invisible masks may protect you for a while, but they also prevent genuine growth. Real confidence does not come from pretending to be perfect. It comes from being honest enough to recognize your weaknesses and disciplined enough to improve them. The strongest people are not those who never struggle. They are the ones who stop wasting energy pretending they don't. When you begin seeing beyond appearances, your relationships change. You become more patient, more understanding, less reactive. You stop judging people by isolated moments and start recognizing the deeper forces that shape their behavior. That awareness doesn't make you naive. Principle 4. The silent power of self-control. There is a kind of strength that never raises its voice. It doesn't argue to prove a point. It doesn't react to every insult. It doesn't need constant attention or approval. Yet, it is one of the most powerful forces a human being can possess. That strength is self-control. Most people believe power comes from controlling other people. They try to change opinions, win every disagreement, or force life to unfold exactly as they planned. But the strongest individuals understand a different truth. The only person you can truly control is yourself. Think about the moments you regret the most. Perhaps it was a message sent in anger, a decision made in frustration, words spoken in the heat of an argument. In almost every case, the problem wasn't a lack of intelligence. It was a lack of patience. A single emotional reaction created consequences that lasted far longer than the emotion itself. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine someone who remains calm while everyone else is losing control. Someone who listens before speaking. Someone who chooses silence when others are desperate to win an argument. At first, this person may appear quiet, but over time, people begin to trust them, respect them, follow them. Because calmness has a unique kind of authority. It tells the world that your emotions do not own you. Self-control does not mean suppressing your feelings. It means understanding them without becoming their prisoner. When fear appears, you acknowledge it, but you don't let it decide your future. When anger appears, you recognize it, but you don't allow it to choose your words. When success arrives, you enjoy it, but you don't let pride blind your judgment. This is emotional maturity, and emotional maturity creates lasting influence. Every great achievement requires the ability to delay immediate comfort for a greater reward, to keep working when motivation disappears, to stay disciplined when no one is watching, to remain humble when success finally arrives. These are not dramatic moments. They are quiet decisions, repeated every day. Over time, those quiet decisions become your character, and your character becomes your destiny. So the next time life gives you a reason to react immediately, pause. Take one slow breath. Ask yourself one simple question. Will this decision still make sense tomorrow? That brief moment of awareness can protect relationships, preserve opportunities, and change the direction of your life. Because true strength is not measured by how powerfully you can react. It is measured by how wisely you choose not to. It makes you wise. Because wisdom begins where assumptions end. Now you've learned that people often wear masks to protect themselves. But there's another force influencing behavior that operates even more quietly. It's the constant desire to compare ourselves with everyone around us. And unless you understand this hidden force, you'll never fully understand why people compete, envy, admire, or resent one another. Let's explore the next law. Now that you've discovered the quiet power of self-control, the next step is even more important. Because no matter how disciplined you become, your life will still be shaped by the people you allow into it. In the next principle, we'll explore how relationships influence your thinking, your habits, and ultimately, your future. Principle 5. Choose your circle before it chooses your future. Take a moment and think about the 5 people you spend the most time with. Not the people you admire from a distance, Not the celebrities you follow online, the people whose voices you hear every week, whose opinions influence your decisions, whose habits quietly become part of your own. Whether you realize it or not, every relationship is shaping you. Human beings are incredibly adaptable. We naturally absorb the language, attitudes, beliefs, and expectations of the people around us. Spend enough time with individuals who complain about everything, and complaining begins to feel normal. Surround yourself with people who take responsibility for their lives, and responsibility starts to become your default mindset. Influence is rarely loud. It is almost always silent. It works through repetition. One conversation, one habit, one belief, repeated again and again until it becomes part of your identity. This is why your environment matters more than occasional motivation. Motivation can inspire you for a day. Your environment shapes you for years. Ask yourself a difficult question. Do the people around you challenge you to grow? Do they celebrate your progress? Do they tell you the truth when you're making a mistake? Or do they encourage comfort, excuses, and endless distractions? The people who truly care about your future won't always tell you what you want to hear. Sometimes, they'll tell you exactly what you need to hear. Growth often begins with uncomfortable honesty. But this principle is not only about choosing better friends, it's also about becoming a better influence. The energy you bring into a room affects others just as their energy affects you. Are you the person who spreads hope or doubt, discipline or excuses, calmness or chaos? Every interaction leaves a mark. Even a few sincere words of encouragement can change someone's day, or even their life. Never underestimate the influence of your presence. At the same time, don't be afraid to create healthy distance from relationships that constantly pull you away from your values. That doesn't mean judging people. It means protecting your direction. Because your future deserves an environment where it can grow. Remember this: you don't become successful by accident. You become successful through the standards you accept, the habits you repeat, and the people you allow to shape your thinking. Choose your circle carefully, because every conversation is quietly building the person you will become. The people around you influence your future. But there is someone whose voice is even more powerful. The voice you hear every single day, your own. In the next principle, we'll discover how your inner dialogue can become either your greatest ally or your greatest obstacle, and how to train it to work in your favor. Principle 6. The conversation inside your mind. There is a voice that has been with you since the day you became aware of yourself. It speaks when you wake up. It speaks before every important decision. It speaks after every success. And it speaks even louder after every failure. Most people spend their lives trying to change what others say about them. Very few ever stop to examine what they say to themselves. Yet this inner conversation quietly shapes every action they take. Imagine two people facing the exact same challenge. Both are equally talented. Both have the same opportunity. Both experience the same setback. One says, "This is difficult, but I'll figure it out." The other says, "I always fail. I'm just not good enough." The situation is identical, but their futures will not be. Because the words repeated inside your mind eventually become the beliefs you live by. And your beliefs determine your actions. This doesn't mean pretending that life is easy. It isn't. There will be days when progress feels invisible, days when rejection stings, days when you question whether your efforts are worth it. The goal is not to ignore those moments. The goal is to refuse to let them define you. Your mind believes what it hears repeatedly. If you constantly repeat fear, your confidence begins to disappear. If you constantly repeat possibility, your courage slowly begins to grow. That is why successful people guard their inner dialogue so carefully. They don't deny reality. They simply refuse to let temporary emotions become permanent beliefs. The next time you make a mistake, don't ask, "Why am I so bad at this?" Instead, ask, "What is this experience trying to teach me?" That single question changes everything. Failure stops being an ending. It becomes information, a lesson, a stepping stone. Growth begins the moment you stop attacking yourself for being imperfect. Remember, the person you speak to the most is yourself. If that relationship is filled with criticism, doubt, and fear, every challenge becomes heavier than it needs to be. But when your inner voice becomes honest, encouraging, and disciplined, you begin carrying yourself differently. You take more chances. You recover from setbacks more quickly. You become resilient, not because life becomes easier, but because your mind becomes stronger. The quality of your life is deeply connected to the quality of the conversations happening inside your own head. So choose those words carefully, because they are building the person you will become. A strong inner voice gives you confidence, but confidence alone is not enough. Without clear direction, even the most confident person can spend years moving without purpose. In the next principle, we'll explore why living with intention is far more powerful than simply staying busy. Principle 7. Live with purpose, not just activity. Every morning, millions of people wake up, check their phones, answer messages, rush through breakfast, go to work, come home exhausted, sleep, and then repeat the exact same cycle the next day. They're busy, but they're not always moving forward. There is a dangerous illusion in modern life. It convinces us that constant activity is the same as meaningful progress. It isn't. You can spend years climbing a ladder, only to discover it was leaning against the wrong wall. Purpose changes everything. It gives direction to your energy. Without it, every distraction feels important. Every opportunity seems impossible to ignore. And every opinion from other people begins to influence your decisions. But when you know exactly where you're going, saying no becomes much easier. You stop chasing every trend. You stop comparing your timeline to everyone else's. You begin investing your time instead of merely spending it. Ask yourself a simple question. If no one applauded your success, would you still choose the path you're on? That question reveals the difference between purpose and approval. Many people spend their lives chasing recognition. They want to impress strangers, collect praise, earn validation. Yet even after achieving those things, they often feel empty, because external approval can never replace internal purpose. Purpose is quiet. It doesn't need constant attention. It simply gives you a reason to continue when motivation disappears. There will be mornings when you don't feel inspired, days when nothing seems to be working, moments when giving up feels easier than taking one more step. During those moments, motivation will not save you. Purpose will. Because purpose reminds you that today's struggle is connected to tomorrow's vision. Think of a ship crossing a vast ocean. Storms are inevitable. Strong winds will push it off course. Massive waves will test its strength. But as long as the captain never loses sight of the destination, the journey continues. Your purpose is that destination. It keeps you moving, even when progress feels painfully slow. So don't ask yourself every morning, "How do I feel today?" Instead, ask, "Who am I becoming through the choices I make today?" That single shift changes the way you approach your work, your relationships, and your future. A meaningful life is not built through dramatic moments. It is built through thousands of ordinary decisions, all guided by one extraordinary purpose. And those who live with purpose rarely drift. They move with intention. Even when the road is uncertain, purpose tells you where to go. But there is another quality that determines whether you'll actually get there. It is the ability to continue, especially when the excitement fades. In the next principle, we'll explore why consistency, not talent, luck, or motivation, is the true foundation of extraordinary success. Remember this: your future is not created by what you do once. It is created by what you do repeatedly. So stop searching for the perfect moment. Stop waiting to feel completely ready. Take the next step. Then take another and another. Because greatness is rarely a single leap. More often, it is the quiet result of showing up again and again, long after everyone else has given up. Consistency builds momentum, but momentum alone isn't enough. As you grow, you'll encounter criticism, doubt, and people who question your path. The next principle will show you how to remain focused when the voices around you become louder than the voice within. Principle 9. Never give other people the pen to write your story. From the moment you are born, the world begins telling you who you should be. Your family has expectations. Your friends have opinions. Society defines success in its own way. And social media constantly reminds you that someone, somewhere, seems to be living a better life. Without realizing it, many people spend years trying to become the person everyone else expects, instead of becoming the person they were meant to be. The tragedy is not failure. The tragedy is living a life that was never truly yours. Think about how often fear of judgment influences your decisions. How many opportunities have been ignored because you were worried about what people might say? How many dreams have been delayed because you wanted everyone's approval before taking the first step? Here's the truth. No matter what you choose, someone will disagree. If you dream big, they'll say you're unrealistic. If you play it safe, they'll say you're wasting your potential. If you succeed, some will call you lucky. If you fail, others will say they expected it. You cannot control their opinions, but you can control whether those opinions become your reality. The strongest people are not those who receive the least criticism. They are the ones who continue moving despite it. They understand that criticism often says more about the person giving it than the person receiving it. This doesn't mean ignoring all feedback. Wise people listen carefully. They separate useful advice from unnecessary noise. Constructive criticism helps you improve. Constant negativity only distracts you. Learning the difference is a sign of maturity. Imagine an author writing a powerful book. Halfway through, strangers begin grabbing the pen, changing chapters, rewriting the ending, and deciding what the story should become. The result would be chaos. Yet this is exactly what many people allow to happen in their own lives. They give away the pen. One opinion changes their confidence. One negative comment changes their direction. One rejection convinces them to quit. Don't make that mistake. Your life is your story. You are the author. Others may offer suggestions. They may even inspire new chapters. But they should never hold the pen. Because every meaningful achievement in history was once misunderstood. Every great creator was doubted. Every visionary was questioned. If they had waited for universal approval, their greatest work would never have existed. So stop asking, will everyone understand my path? Instead ask, will I be proud of the person I'm becoming if I continue walking it? That answer matters far more. At the end of your life, you won't be judged by the number of people who agreed with your choices. You'll be judged by whether you had the courage to make them. So write boldly, write honestly, and never let fear edit the story that only you were meant to tell. Finding the courage to live your own story is a powerful step. But every meaningful journey includes obstacles, setbacks, and moments when everything seems to fall apart. In the next principle, you'll discover why adversity is not the opposite of growth. It is often the very thing that creates it. Principle 10. Your greatest challenges can become your greatest teachers. Every person dreams of success. Very few dream of struggle. Yet if you study the lives of extraordinary people, you'll notice something surprising. The moments that shaped them were rarely their victories. They were their hardest seasons. Failure has a strange way of revealing what comfort never can. It exposes your habits. It tests your patience. It forces you to ask questions you would never ask when everything is going well. Most people see obstacles as signs to stop. They believe that difficulty means they're on the wrong path. But what if the obstacle isn't there to stop you? What if it's there to prepare you? Think about how a diamond is formed. It begins as ordinary carbon, hidden deep beneath the earth. Then comes immense pressure. Not for a few hours, not for a few days, but for years. Without that pressure, the diamond would never exist. Human character is shaped in much the same way. Pressure reveals your true habits. Adversity reveals your true values. When life becomes difficult, your excuses begin to disappear. You're left with one important choice. Will this challenge define me, or will it develop me? Every setback carries a lesson. A failed business may teach patience. A broken relationship may teach healthier boundaries. A painful rejection may redirect you toward a better opportunity. At first, these lessons are often invisible. Only with time do you realize that what felt like the end was actually a new beginning. This is why resilient people think differently. They don't ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Instead, they ask, "What is this experience trying to teach me?" That single question transforms pain into growth. It shifts your attention from self-pity to self-improvement. And that's where real strength begins. Remember, strength is not built on easy days. Confidence is not created by constant success. Wisdom is not developed without mistakes. These qualities are earned by continuing to move forward, even when the road is uncertain. One step, then another, until the person who once feared every obstacle becomes someone who welcomes every lesson. Because they understand a timeless truth. Life doesn't become meaningful because it is easy. It becomes meaningful because every challenge gives you the opportunity to become someone stronger than you were yesterday. So the next time life tests you, don't immediately search for the exit. Search for the lesson. It may become the turning point that changes everything. Principle 11. Your identity is shaped by the stories you tell yourself. Every human being lives two lives. The first is the life that other people can see. The second is the life that exists only inside the mind. It is made of memories, beliefs, interpretations, and quiet conversations that no one else will ever hear. These conversations may seem invisible, but they quietly shape every decision you make. Imagine two people losing the same opportunity. The first person says, "I failed because I'm simply not good enough." The second person says, "I failed because I still have something to learn." The event is identical. The story is completely different. And because the story is different, the future becomes different. One person gives up. The other grows stronger. This is why the stories you tell yourself matter more than the events themselves. Many people believe that confidence comes from success, but often, confidence comes from interpretation. Some people experience failure and become wiser. Others experience the same failure and become fearful. What changed? Not reality, meaning. The human mind is always searching for explanations. When something painful happens, the brain immediately asks, why? The answer you give yourself becomes the foundation of your future. If you believe every rejection proves you are worthless, you begin avoiding opportunities. If you believe every mistake is evidence that you cannot improve, you stop trying. If you believe every criticism is an attack, you stop listening. But what if the opposite were true? What if rejection was simply redirection? What if failure was education? What if criticism was information instead of an insult? The moment your interpretation changes, your behavior begins to change. Think about a child learning to walk. The child falls again and again, yet no one calls those falls failure. They are simply part of learning. Somewhere along the journey into adulthood, we forget this truth. We begin expecting perfection from ourselves. We become afraid of looking inexperienced. We judge ourselves for not succeeding immediately. But growth has never worked that way. Every expert was once a beginner. Every confident speaker was once nervous. Every successful leader once doubted themselves. The difference is not that they avoided mistakes. The difference is that they refused to let mistakes define their identity. Instead of saying, "I am a failure," they learned to say, "I experienced a failure." Those two sentences sound similar, but they create completely different lives. One attacks identity. The other describes an experience. Never confuse what happened to you with who you are. Your past may explain you. It does not have to define you. Every morning gives you another opportunity to tell yourself a better story. Not a false story, not empty positive thinking, but an honest story built on possibility. Instead of saying, "I can't," ask, "How can I?" Instead of saying, "This is impossible," ask, "What is the next small step?" Because your life is not controlled by the loudest voice around you. It is controlled by the quiet voice within you. So choose your words carefully. One day, they become your reality. If the stories we tell ourselves shape our identity, then there is another force that quietly shapes those stories every single day. It isn't luck. It isn't talent. It is the environment we choose to live in. Principle 12 begins. Take a moment and imagine placing a single seed into two different pieces of land. The first seed is planted in rich soil. It receives sunlight every morning, fresh water every day, protection from harsh winds. Given enough time, it grows into a strong and healthy tree. Now imagine placing another seed into dry ground. The soil is weak. The water is scarce. The sunlight barely reaches it. That seed struggles from the very beginning. The seed itself is not the problem. The environment is. Human beings are not so different. We often spend years trying to change ourselves without paying attention to the environment that surrounds us. We wonder why motivation disappears, why discipline feels difficult, why peace seems impossible to find. Yet every day we surround ourselves with distractions that quietly shape our thinking. Look closely at your life. What are the voices you hear every day? What kind of conversations fill your home? What kind of people influence your decisions? What kind of information enters your mind before the day even begins? Most people underestimate the silent power of repetition. A single negative comment may not affect you, but hearing negativity every single day slowly changes the way you see yourself. A single hour of distraction may seem harmless, but repeated every evening for years, it quietly steals hundreds of hours that could have been invested in building a better future. Environment is not only the place where you live, it is everything that repeatedly enters your mind. The books you read, the videos you watch, the music you listen to, the people you admire, the conversations you choose to join, even the words you allow yourself to think. All of these become invisible architects of your character. Think about a person who spends every day surrounded by people who complain. At first, they may remain optimistic, but little by little, they begin to complain as well. Not because they wanted to, because human beings naturally adapt to the atmosphere around them. Now imagine another person. They spend time with people who value learning, who solve problems instead of creating them, who encourage growth instead of making excuses. Over time, their thinking begins to change, not through force, but through exposure. This is why changing your environment is often easier than changing your willpower. When healthy choices become the easiest choices, discipline requires less effort. Imagine trying to eat healthy while your table is filled with junk food. Every meal becomes a battle. Now imagine opening your kitchen and finding fresh fruit, vegetables, and healthy meals ready to eat. The decision suddenly becomes easier. The same principle applies to your mind. If your phone constantly feeds you fear, anger, comparison, and endless distraction, do not be surprised when your thoughts become restless. If your days begin with purpose, learning, and reflection, do not be surprised when your mind becomes calmer and stronger. The life you build tomorrow is deeply connected to the environment you create today. Many people believe success is only about making bigger decisions. In reality, it is often about making better daily surroundings. Small changes create powerful momentum. A cleaner workspace, a quieter morning, a notebook beside your bed, a book within reach instead of endless scrolling, a conversation with someone who inspires you rather than drains your energy. These decisions may appear ordinary, yet they quietly shape extraordinary lives. Because every environment teaches something. The only question is, what is your environment teaching you every single day? Transition. Once you begin changing your environment, something remarkable happens. Your habits begin to change without feeling forced. And that is where real transformation begins. Have you ever noticed how different you feel after spending just 1 hour in 2 completely different environments? Imagine walking into a room where everyone is complaining. Every conversation is about problems. Every sentence carries doubt. Every opportunity is dismissed before anyone even tries. At first, you may think, that won't affect me. But the human mind absorbs far more than it realizes. Emotions are contagious. Attitudes are contagious. Even beliefs can become contagious. Without noticing, you begin lowering your own expectations. Dreams that once felt possible suddenly seem unrealistic. Goals that once excited you begin to feel unnecessary. Nothing dramatic happened. No single event changed your life. Only your environment changed. Now imagine the opposite. You enter a room where people are curious. They ask thoughtful questions. They speak about solutions instead of excuses. They celebrate learning instead of pretending to know everything. You leave that conversation feeling different, more hopeful, more energized, more willing to take action. That is the invisible influence of environment. It doesn't always shout. Most of the time, it whispers. And because it whispers, most people never notice its power. Think about a professional athlete. Long before they compete, their environment has already shaped them. Their training schedule reminds them of discipline. Their coach reminds them of standards. Their teammates remind them of commitment. Even the walls around them reinforce one simple message: keep improving. Success is rarely built by one moment of extraordinary effort. It is built by ordinary habits repeated in an environment that makes those habits easier. The same principle applies to every area of life. If your desk is always cluttered, your attention is constantly pulled in different directions. If your phone interrupts you every few minutes, deep thinking becomes almost impossible. If every spare moment is filled with endless scrolling, your imagination has no space to breathe. Many people believe they lack discipline. Sometimes they simply lack a supportive environment. Instead of asking, "Why am I so distracted?" ask a different question. What around me is encouraging distraction? Instead of asking, "Why can't I stay focused?" ask, "What could I remove to make focus easier?" Small environmental changes often create remarkable results. A quiet morning without your phone, a dedicated place for reading, a simple notebook where ideas are captured instead of forgotten, turning off unnecessary notifications, choosing one meaningful conversation instead of hours of meaningless noise. These actions appear small, yet they slowly reshape the direction of your life. Remember this truth: you become what you repeatedly experience. If your days are filled with urgency, your mind begins to believe everything is an emergency. If your days are filled with learning, your mind begins searching for opportunities to grow. If your days are filled with gratitude, your attention naturally shifts toward what is already good. The environment around you eventually becomes the environment within you. That is why protecting your mind is not selfish. It is necessary. Not every opinion deserves your attention. Not every argument deserves your response. Not every distraction deserves your time. Every yes you give to something unimportant is often a no to something that truly matters. Choose carefully, because one day you'll look back and realize that your future wasn't shaped by one life-changing decision. It was shaped by hundreds of small choices about what you allowed into your mind every single day. But even the best environment cannot transform your life unless one final ingredient is present. That ingredient is the courage to act. Because knowledge without action remains only potential. There is a quiet difference between the people who admire success and the people who eventually achieve it. At first glance, they often appear the same. Both have dreams. Both have ambition. Both imagine a better future. But as time passes, their paths slowly begin to separate. One person waits for the perfect moment. The other creates it. One waits until they feel motivated. The other understands that motivation is unpredictable. They choose discipline instead. This is one of the greatest misunderstandings of modern life. Many people believe that successful individuals wake up every morning filled with energy, excitement, and endless determination. The truth is often much simpler. The most successful people are not always the most motivated. They are simply the most consistent. They understand that emotions change. Some mornings you feel inspired. Other mornings you feel tired. Some days confidence is high. Other days doubt quietly enters your mind. If your actions depend entirely on your emotions, your future will always remain uncertain. Imagine a captain sailing across the ocean. Some days the sea is calm. Other days powerful storms appear without warning. If the captain only sails when the weather feels perfect, the destination may never be reached. Instead, experienced captains learn something important. They respect the storm, but they continue navigating toward their destination. Life demands the same attitude. There will always be difficult days, unexpected problems, moments of disappointment, people who misunderstand your intentions, plans that fail, opportunities that disappear. These experiences are not signs that you should stop. They are reminders that every meaningful journey requires persistence. Think about a musician practicing a single piece of music. The audience only sees the final performance. They applaud the confidence, the precision, the beauty of every note. What they never see are the thousands of quiet hours spent practicing alone. The mistakes, the repetition, the frustration, the moments when improvement felt invisible. Greatness is almost always built in private before it is recognized in public. This is why discipline is so powerful. It allows you to continue working even when nobody is watching, even when nobody is encouraging you, even when results seem impossibly far away. The world often celebrates talent, but discipline quietly multiplies talent. A gifted person without discipline may achieve short moments of success. An ordinary person with extraordinary discipline can continue improving for years. Eventually, consistency begins to outperform natural ability. This is why small daily actions matter so much. Reading 10 pages every day may not seem impressive. Exercising for 30 minutes may feel insignificant. Saving a small amount of money each month may appear too slow. Learning one new idea every day may feel almost invisible. But time has a remarkable way of rewarding consistency. Imagine placing one single brick on an empty piece of land every day. The first week, nothing impressive appears. The first month, it still looks incomplete. But after enough time, those ordinary bricks become a strong house. No single brick created the house. The habit did. Your future is built exactly the same way. Every decision is another brick. Every disciplined action strengthens the foundation of the person you are becoming. One day you will look back and realize that your greatest achievements were never created by one extraordinary effort. They were created by thousands of ordinary decisions repeated long enough to become extraordinary. So stop asking yourself, can I change my life today? Instead, ask, what small action can I repeat every single day? Because the future does not suddenly arrive. It is quietly built, one disciplined decision at a time. As you continue walking through life, you will eventually discover a truth that many people spend years trying to avoid. Life does not become easier simply because you want it to. Challenges do not disappear because you feel ready. Fear does not vanish overnight. Doubt does not ask for permission before entering your mind. The question has never been whether difficulties will come. The real question is, who will you become when they do? Many people believe discipline is about forcing yourself to suffer, but true discipline is something much deeper. It is an act of self-respect. It is the quiet decision to honor your future more than your present comfort. Imagine two friends standing at the beginning of the same journey. Both dream of building a meaningful life. Both promise themselves that this year will be different. During the first few weeks, they are equally motivated. They wake up early. They work hard. They feel excited. Then reality begins to appear. The mornings become colder. The work becomes repetitive. The excitement slowly fades. The first friend starts saying, "I'll continue when I feel motivated again." One missed day becomes two. Two becomes 7. Eventually, the dream that once felt alive quietly disappears. The second friend experiences exactly the same emotions. They also feel tired. They also question themselves. They also struggle. But they make one different decision. They continue anyway. Not because they enjoy every moment, but because they understand something powerful. Feelings are temporary. Commitment is a choice. Months later, the difference between the two friends is impossible to ignore. Not because one was smarter, not because one was luckier, but because one allowed temporary emotions to control permanent goals, while the other allowed permanent values to guide temporary emotions. This is the hidden strength of discipline. It protects your future from the moods of the present. Think about a lighthouse standing beside the ocean. Every night storms arrive. Powerful waves crash against the rocks. The wind howls without mercy. Yet the lighthouse never argues with the storm. It simply continues shining. Its purpose never changes because the weather changes. Your principles should work the same way. If honesty matters, practice it when lying seems easier. If kindness matters, choose it when anger feels justified. If growth matters, continue learning when progress feels slow. Because values only become real when they survive difficulty. Anyone can remain calm when life is peaceful. Anyone can be patient when nothing is going wrong. But character is revealed during pressure. Pressure does not create character. It reveals it. That is why difficult seasons should never convince you that you are failing. Sometimes they are simply revealing the strength you have been quietly building all along. Every disciplined choice leaves a mark on your identity. Each time you keep a promise to yourself, you begin trusting yourself a little more. Each time you finish what you started, your confidence grows a little stronger. Not because someone praised you, but because you proved something to yourself. And there is no confidence more powerful than self-earned confidence. Eventually, discipline stops feeling like effort. It becomes part of who you are. You no longer exercise because you feel motivated. You exercise because that is the kind of person you have chosen to become. You no longer read because inspiration appears. You read because learning has become your identity. You no longer wait for perfect conditions. You create progress under imperfect ones. That is the quiet transformations most people never see. Success is rarely one dramatic breakthrough. It is thousands of invisible decisions made with consistency, patience, and purpose. So when this principle stays with you after this audiobook ends, remember one simple idea. Do not build your life around motivation. Build it around values. Do not ask yourself every morning, do I feel like doing this today? Instead, ask, what kind of person do I want to become? Then let your actions answer that question. Because every promise you keep to yourself lays another stone on the path toward the future you imagine. And one day, when people look at your achievements, they may believe you were fortunate. They may believe success came naturally. They may never see the thousands of ordinary mornings when you chose discipline over comfort. But you will know the truth. You will know that your future was not built in a single extraordinary moment. It was built quietly. One choice, one habit, one disciplined day at a time. And that is how lasting success is created. And now, we arrive at the end of this journey. But perhaps this is not an ending at all. Perhaps it is the beginning of a different way of seeing the world. Over the last hour, you have explored powerful ideas, not to become someone else, but to understand yourself more deeply. Because every meaningful change in life begins with awareness. The person who understands their own mind is no longer controlled by every emotion. The person who understands others no longer wastes energy expecting everyone to think the same way. Wisdom is not about knowing more facts. It is about seeing life more clearly. From this moment forward, you will face the same people, the same challenges, the same opportunities. But hopefully, you will no longer respond in the same way. Perhaps you will pause before reacting. Perhaps you will choose understanding instead of judgment. Perhaps you will recognize that every difficult person is also carrying invisible struggles. And perhaps, for the first time, you will realize that the greatest battle has never been against the world. It has always been within yourself. Remember this: your future will not be decided by one extraordinary decision. It will be shaped by thousands of ordinary choices that no one else will ever see. The conversations you have with yourself, the habits you repeat, the values you refuse to compromise, the discipline you practice when no one is watching. That is where your future is being written. Never underestimate the quiet power of small improvements. A calmer response, a wiser decision, a little more patience, a little more courage. These moments may seem insignificant today, but time has a remarkable way of multiplying them. One day, you will look back and realize that your life did not change because of one dramatic breakthrough. It changed because you became a slightly better person every single day. So don't chase perfection. Chase progress. Don't compare your journey to someone else's. Compare yourself only to the person you were yesterday. Because the greatest competition has never been with another human being. It has always been with your own potential. As you leave this audiobook, don't ask yourself, how much did I remember? Ask yourself, which one idea will I begin living today? Because knowledge that remains in the mind changes nothing. Knowledge that becomes action changes everything. If even one sentence from this journey stays with you, if even one idea helps you become calmer, stronger, kinder, or wiser, then this time we've spent together has truly been worthwhile. Thank you for choosing to spend these moments with me. Your willingness to learn already sets you apart. But remember, this is only one chapter. The journey of understanding yourself, mastering your habits, strengthening your mindset, and building a meaningful life never truly ends. There are still deeper questions to explore, greater lessons to discover, and new ways of thinking that can completely transform the way you live. So until our next journey together, keep learning, keep questioning, keep growing, and never stop becoming the person your future self will be proud of. This chapter may be over, but your greatest chapter is only just beginning.